Good morning, detectives. I hope that you all had a fun long weekend, and this is our last week of school. So we only have a few more days before summer starts. Let's try and learn as much as we can before the last day on Friday. My read aloud for you today is called Click Clack Moo, Cows That Type by Doreen Cronin, pictures by Betsy Lewin. And when they say type, they're talking about this typewriter, which you probably haven't seen before. We don't have typewriters around much anymore. But a typewriter is a machine that people used before they had computers. When they wanted to write letters or books, they would use a typewriter to type it up. Click, clack, moo, cows that type. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, clack, moo, clickety clack, moo. At first he couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? Impossible. Click, clack, moo, clickety clack, moo. So that click, clack sound, that's the sound it makes when you type the keys on a typewriter. Then he couldn't believe his eyes. Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very cold at night. We'd like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. Oh, they wrote him a letter. It was bad enough the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. If you go on strike, that means you refuse to work. So they left a note on the barn door. Sorry, we're closed. No milk today. No milk today, cried Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard the cows busy at work. Click, clack, moo, clickety clack, moo. The next day, he got another note. Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold too. They'd like electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows. The cows were growing impatient with the farmer. They left a new note on the barn door. Closed, no milk, no eggs. So now the chickens are on strike too. No eggs, cried Farmer Brown. In the background he heard them click, clack, moo, clickety clack, moo. Cows that type, hens on strike. Who ever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was furious. Farmer Brown got out his own typewriter. Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown. Duck was a neutral party, so he brought the ultimatum to the cows. So a neutral party means somebody who doesn't take a side. So he's not on Farmer Brown's side, he's not on the cows and the chickens' sides, he's just kind of watching the whole thing. So he takes the ultimatum, which means the demand, the note from Farmer Brown to the other animals. The cows held an emergency meeting. All the animals gathered around the barn to snoop, but none of them could understand moo. Moo is the language that the cows speak, and the pigs and the horses, they're like, we don't know what they're saying. We don't speak moo. All night long, Farmer Brown waited for an answer. Duck knocked on the door early the next morning. He handed Farmer Brown a note. Dear Farmer Brown, we will exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. Leave them outside the barn door, and we will send Duck over with the typewriter. Sincerely, the cows. So do you think Farmer Brown will agree to that deal? He'll give them blankets if they give up the typewriter? Let's find out. Farmer Brown decided this was a good deal. He left the blankets next to the barn door and waited for Duck to come with the typewriter. Here they are with their electric blankets on. The next morning he got a note. Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring. We'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks. Click, clack, quack, clickety clack, quack. So now the ducks have the typewriter and they want a diving board. That is silly. And they got it. That's a silly book. So in your journal today, I want you to think about what else could a farm animal ask for. So the cows and the chickens want blankets, the ducks want a diving board. Think about some animals that you know that live on a farm, like horses, maybe goats, pigs, sheep, and think about, if you were a farm animal, what would you ask the farmer to give you? Draw a picture and label it, and then send me a picture of it. Mwah! Bye, babies.